live dah. Tak ada keluar sini. Okay, yang ni. Alright. Okay, okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, live, eh? Alright, so basically today we'll be covering, okay, on risk management issues, okay, Islamic finance, okay. Alright, so basically when we talk about risk, okay, okay, everybody has a different type or level of risk, okay. Different level of risk depending on whether sometimes you are, like we have discussed last week, probably your age factor, or probably your gender factor, right? That is based on your psychographic, but also depending on your level of risk tolerance, risk tolerance. But normally we have to manage the risk. Okay, we have to, either we want to avoid the risk, okay, avoid, which means that we run away, right? Try to avoid the risk or totally, right? Or maybe you want to reduce the risk, manage the risk, or diversify the risk, transfer the risk to somewhere else. Okay, right. But this week we'll be covering on the risk management issues, looking at the specific Islamic financial contracts, such as mudarabah, musyarakah, right? Musyarakah mu tak kisah, mu tak nak kisah kan, right? Betul. It's actually because it's actually being developed by Atlantanis. And then you have to pronounce it like that, okay? Musyarakah mu tak nak kisah. Right. Have you heard about that before? Alright, musyarakah mu tak nak kisah, kan? Right. So basically, we have different type of contracts, and these different types of contract have different risk levels and being affected by different risks also. Alright. Okay, because it depending whether the contracts are debt based or equity based. Okay, debt based is actually a hutang. Equity based is basically is partnership. Okay, perkongsian. Alright, now let's look at the major type of risk in the financial industry. Okay, major type of risk in the financial industry. Now we have financial risk. Okay, three major types. First is financial risk, then we have the business risk, and also the operational risk. Okay, when we talk about financial, right, so it depends on whether the market is good or not at the moment. For example, these 2 days, the market is really wild, very wild. Okay, the market. For example, okay, if I show it to you, all right, I will show it to you. Market, okay, the global market right now, okay, the global market. This is the market, and then look at the major indices around the world, right? If you look at the major indices, all right, so can see that all the indices are all red color, which means that you are swimming in a red ocean. So if the market, the global market is red, definitely Malaysia will be going to be red also. Not definitely, never. We cannot say that it's actually going to be 100% correct, but we can actually assume that, or maybe we can actually predict that the nation also will be red. Right? This is red global index. Now let's look at the Kuala Lumpur. Okay, KLCI, Okay, sometimes it's KLCI, sometimes it's KLSE. Right, and let's look at the Malaysian market. It might be positive, but how many? Okay, it's positive, which is totally different from the global market. But you just look how many counters, for example, how many counters are red and how many counters are actually green. Right? If you look here, okay, there are about, I can't see here, right? So it's not shown here, but if I'm not mistaken, there are more counters which are red as compared to green. Right? So as you know, last week I've actually explained to you, the KLCI is the Kuala Lumpur Composite Index, okay, which represent 30 companies. Okay, if you want to look at the companies, we just click here, right? You just click here, you can have all the 30 companies that actually are being listed in the KLCI. Okay, so the company are this one. Okay, we have MMB, we have Astro, we have Axiata, we have Bumiputra Commerce, DG, we have Genting, Genting Malaysia, Hapsang, Hong Leong Bank, Hong Leong Financial, and many more. Right, so basically there are 30. Okay, so 30 companies. We have more than 1,000 companies in the stock market. Okay, but only 30 is being calculated in the Kuala Lumpur Composite Index. Alright, okay, now this is what we call the market. Okay, the market. Now people ask me, for example, last few days we have several companies have actually reported the QR, the quarter report, correct? Because we have every 3 months, okay, companies in the stock market have to present their QR, quarter report. Quarter means quarter, right? 1/4. So in a year, you have 4 quarter reports, right? So let's say you have a year, right? So you have, let's say you have your ending, we call it ending accounting period is 31st December, right? In every year. So you will have, for example, the first quarter report, March. Then you have another one, June and September, and then December. But the quarter report might be different from one company to another company. But majority of quarter report is this month. Okay, majority. So some of the what you call it investors, they don't, our traders, they don't want to trade during the quarter report because there are possibility the company is making losses or the company is making profit, right? But the question being posed to me is that why the quarter report is positive but the stocks goes down? Okay, the stock goes down because normally when the quarter report is good, normally stock prices goes up. Okay, when you report profit for the company, okay, stock prices goes up, right? That's normal. But at this time, just actually they have reported quarter earning of good profit, but their stocks goes down. Even today also goes down. That is what we call the market risk. Okay, I've shown to you that all the market indices are all red, right? And even though the good companies also sometimes cannot sustain the market risk, because market risk cannot be avoided. You remember last time I've asked you about systematic and unsystematic risk. Remember? Okay, what is the systematic and unsystematic risk? Cannot be controlled, and unsystematic can be controlled. So market risk is actually, can you control the market? you can't control the market. Okay, so you cannot control, because only the company that you can control. Okay, if you are the managers of the company, but the market you cannot control. So this market risk is actually, if you are investing, sometimes you don't care about the market. You only care about the company. So if the company is making profit, even though the stock prices goes down, you just what we call it, just hang on to it. You just hang on, right? Hold to the company, right? But this is normally not being done by traders. Traders, they will actually cut loss because the market is going down, so they cut loss, and they will buy back when it is at a discount price. Okay, that's how traders do. But as investors, they don't do anything. They just monitor. Okay, they just monitor. Right? Okay. So we have market risk for financial. We also have credit risk. Credit risk is simple. Okay. If you are a bank, people don't pay back your loans. If you are a student, okay, you don't pay your PTPTN. So who's having the credit risk? PTPTN. Right? Of having the risk of non-payment. So this is credit risk. But if you are working with a bank, so the bank is actually having a credit risk if the borrowers default on their payment. So this is credit risk, right? Then we also have liquidity risk, which is depending on whether we are able to actually to perform our short-term obligation. You know what short-term obligation? Whenever there are creditors coming, right? Creditors coming asking for payment, so we have the money to pay, right? We have the money to pay. So being liquid is also one important factor for the company, for the banks, right? So because if they are not liquid, right? If they are not liquid, then they will be facing a lot of problems, financial problems such as legal problems, okay, legal summons from the creditors, right? Because when you don't pay, then the creditors will start asking you money. When they are so bored with your reasons, or okay, come back later, come back to next month, come back next year, right? So they start going for legal actions, right? Then you receive legal summons from the lawyers, right? Receive the legal summons from lawyers. So liquidity is also another risk that you have to face. This is for the financial risk. Then we have another risk, which is business risk. Okay, we have business risk. Now, business risk is normally we look at the management of the company. We look at the directors of the company. We look at the top people of the bank or the company. We look at how they actually manage the company or the bank. Okay, so that is actually managerial risk. Okay, the other risk is on the strategic planning, whether they are actually moving their ship in the right direction or not. Let's say you are the captain of the company. You are the captain of the ship, right? You are supposed to go north, but with your direction, you are going south. So strategically, you are not correct. So that's how actually you look at the risk, right? This is in terms of the management risk, right? So it's very important to see who are the captain of the bank, of the company. So you know that he is actually directing the company to north, okay, not to the south, right? Okay, all right. Okay, that is for the business risk. Okay, then we have another one, which is the operational risk, which is happening in the bank or in the company itself, whereby all the staff are performing their duties and jobs, daily routines, right? So we have people risk, we have the process of getting something to another thing, right? And also we have the system, which is depending on the technology, depending on the system that you are using. Even in USIM also we have problem with technology, right? Okay, our system is not really stable, right? Okay, so this is the three major type of risk in financial industry. So do you have any questions at the moment? Any question at the moment? You can actually type down here. Do you have any questions? Any questions? There's only 1%. Okay, 1% actually. Oh, there. All right, it's already Asa. I know. Okay, so basically people are logging off right now to perform the salat. Okay, there's one more coming in. Okay, any questions? If there is no question, then we can actually stop for a while. Okay, then we continue on after the Asa prayer. All right. So, okay, we'll see you in about 5 o'clock. All right, 5 o'clock. Thank you.